All right, got one from Michael Snyder's website, endoftheamericandream.com. A random encounter in a diner on Memorial Day shows exactly where America is heading. Posted May 27th. Although it's the 28th, I'm doing this for you. We came all this way tonight just to play for you. That was Journey. In this article, I'm going to share with you a perfect example of why so many people believe that there is so little hope for the future of America. The young adults of today are going to be the leaders of tomorrow, and generally speaking, the young adults of today are not in good shape. Survey after survey has shown that millennials reject traditional American values more than any other generation that has become before them by a very wide margin. They are selfish, rude, arrogant, boastful, proud, disrespectful, ungrateful, undisciplined, slothful. My wife likes sloths. They're always smiling. Not that kind of slothful. And completely obsessed with themselves. In fact, one study found that they are the most narcissistic generation in American history. They feel entitled to everything, but they don't want to work for it. They want to be treated like kings and queens, but they don't see a problem with treating others like dirt. Of course, there are plenty of young adults that are shining exceptions, but in general, young adults under the age of 30 in America today are a complete mess. Earlier today, I came across a story that illustrates this perfectly. Michael Boldia took his family to a local eating establishment to celebrate Memorial Day on Monday, and he encountered a young couple that could be the poster children for the entire millennial generation. The following is an extended excerpt from the Facebook post where Michael told his story. Neither of them could have been more than 30, I said dirty, 30, but both were well into adulthood. She was wearing pajamas and carrying a pillow. He had on a pair of shorts that had seen better days and a shirt he must have been wearing for about a week, given all the food stains down the front of it. They were seated at a booth next to ours, and the first of many complaints was that the booth was too tight. I'm a hefty fellow, and I was seated in the identical booth with room to spare. For a good 3 minutes, the pajama-laden woman, who also happened to be a good 100 pounds over the threshold of obesity, berated the waitress for the booth being snug, while the waitress apologetically explained that she hadn't built the booth, but would pass it along to management. This was only the first volley of what would be a good 30 minutes of macabre drama from which I couldn't look away. A drama replete with demands for a free meal, asking for another omelet even though over 3/4 of the omelet that was deemed inedible had already been eaten, and a request for the manager to complain about the rudeness of the waitress. I was there, I heard every word, and the waitress had not been rude. Had it been me, they would have been asked to leave 5 minutes in. But I have a low threshold for entitlement and rudeness. They finished their meal, left without tipping, and made sure they were loud enough in their adamant insistence that they would never return to this dump as they walked out. I'd never seen anything like this in my life. But upon talking to the waitress afterward, apparently it's happening more and more in recent years. And then back to the article. Even if they are not running things themselves in the future, these are the people that will be choosing who runs our country. Either way, we're in big, big trouble. Once again, I should note that there are definitely exceptions to what I'm talking about. I personally know some wonderful young adults, but the problem is that there is not nearly enough of them. Most of our young adults are the product of a deeply flawed education system, have had thousands of hours of garbage entertainment poured into their minds, and have been systematically trained to reject the values that this country was founded upon. As a result, the future of our nation is looking exceedingly bleak at this point. I mean, after all, we just had, who was it? One of these Congress ladies, I think, wasn't it? That just talked to eight-year-olds or eighth graders. 8-year-olds or eighth graders, I don't remember which one. And told them all about how abortion's great and, be proud to abort babies and stuff. You've got super liberal teachers teaching your kids, we're going to talk about transgenderism today. Oh, excuse me, this is school. Math, science, history, art, PE, physical education, whatever. Not educate my child on sexual orientation and anything like that, especially without our approval. But again, deeply flawed education system, top down. It comes right from the Department of Education, goes to all the schools. Oh, if you don't teach this, you will lose your federal funding. And we know you've grown accustomed to your federal funding. That's why we gave it to begin with, because we knew one day you'd be dependent on it. And then when we have you by the balls because of that, then we start slipping shit like this in there. So you can't say no. Some of the teachers, by the way, are not doing it like, oh my God, there's no way I have to teach this, and like sick to their stomach that they have to teach it. No. Some of the teachers are all over it. Oh yeah, we got to teach this. Oh, this is good stuff. Speaking of their education, let me give you another example. Not too long ago, a 27-year-old woman literally tried to drown her newborn baby in a McDonald's toilet. They link to all this stuff, by the way. A California woman who tried to drown her newborn in a McDonald's toilet received no jail time during sentencing this month. Sarah Jane Lochner, 27, escaped jail time and was instead sentenced to 4 years of supervised probation on May 3rd in the courtroom of San Mateo County Superior Court Judge Stephanie Garrett. By her. Lochner will also be required to attend parenting classes, according to Fox 13. Lochner was arrested in January on a charge of attempted murder, but later pleaded guilty to the lesser charge of, child endangerment. You can now kill kids if you want. And not that you might have a 100% chance, but you might stand a good chance, especially in California, filled with liberal Obama judges, handpicked. You stand a good chance of just child endangerment. I left my kids in the car for 5 minutes without the AC on and all that. Sorry. Child endangerment. Yeah, okay. Lesser charge. All right. I flushed my child down the toilet and tried to kill him. Attend some parenting classes and take the lesser charge. No jail time. What kind of legal system gives a woman that purposely tried to drown her newborn baby in a toilet, no jail time at all? Of course, this is California we're talking about, and without a doubt, the legal system in the state is absolutely insane. You know why? Put a liberal in charge, and they'll run your stuff, whatever it is, into the ground. Company, they'll run it into the ground. Your court system, they'll run it into the ground. Your education system, they'll run it into the ground. Your entire state governance, they'll run it into the ground. Take a look at California. But the truth is that we are seeing legal rulings like this all over the country, and it is because our nation is in a greatly advanced state of decline. When I went to law school a couple decades ago, I sat next to people that were just like the couple that Michael Boldea encountered at the diner. I was horrified that law students would show up to class in shorts and flip-flops like they were ready for a day at the beach. But that is where our entire society is heading these days. At this point, most Americans don't show much respect for anyone or anything. And a great place to see everything that I have talked about in this article in action is on social media. For some reason, social media seems to bring out the best in people, but it also brings out the worst in people. If you spend much time on social media, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Perhaps the reason why social media platforms such as Facebook are such a problem is because they're so addictive. In a recent editorial, U.S. Senator Josh Hawley referred to Facebook as a digital drug. Let's be clear, this is a digital drug, and the addiction is the point. Addiction is what Mark Zuckerberg is selling. Like other drugs, this one hurts its users, attention spans dull, tempers quicken, relationships fray. And those are the benign effects. The Journal of Pediatrics recently noted a surge in attempted suicide, more than double the attempts over the last decade for those under 19, with a tripling among girls and young women 10 years old to 24. The study's authors can't prove social media is to blame, but they strongly suspect it plays a critical role. Congress has a duty to investigate that potential link further. Look, I know that I've been very rough on millennials in this article, but let me end on a hopeful note. Millennials could still become the greatest generation that we have ever seen in all of American history, but they will never get there if they stay on the path that they are currently on. Correct. So now the question is, Is it too late? Is it too late? They've already, I'm grown. I'm a woman and a man. I'm a grown-up adult. I can make my own mind up now. Now that you've been force-fed this crappy education and this crap online, I'm not changing my mind. No, I like the way I think. Hopefully they can see some light somewhere at the end of the tunnel. In the end, life is all about choices, and as a nation, we have been making the wrong choices for a very long time. The young adults of today could choose to be the generation that starts making better choices, and let us hope that a great awakening is just around the corner. I think it is, but again, there's a lot of these people have been brainwashed, so we have a job ahead of us. But we can fix this. We can fix the education system, get those liberals out of there, stop making the federal, Department of Education in charge of everything, and we'll take your funding away if you don't teach, Common Core. Florida governor, the Republican, get that crap out of the state of Florida immediately. Common Core, out of here. Thank you, Governor. Had Gillum won, Democrat, Common Core 2.0 would probably be coming. And that's a fact. Take care.